I have stated publicly that even prior to running for office, my position has been, will continue to be, to strengthen the relationship between the United States and Israel. I happen to believe that the relationship has been damaged with this administration, and have been outspoken about that. But I intend to strengthen that relationship. I happen to believe that so goes Israel, and so goes peace in this part of the world, so goes peace around the world. And so for historical, for spiritual, as well as for shared values reasons, I see Israel as a very important ally of the United States of America. My approach to foreign policy is to clarify our relationship with our friends and our enemies. And secondly, clearly identify who our friends are and who our enemies are. And I don't support providing financial assistance to our enemies. It's just that simple. That is a message that resonates with the American people. Hamas is clearly, it's identified as a terrorist organization. And even though that they have now joined and created the Palestinian Authority by putting the two together, I have some great questions about whether or not we should be supporting in any way what it is that they're trying to do. So yes, I'm very serious about making that determination very clear, and also making decisions about how we would fund various countries and organizations as a result of that. I believe that the Israeli people is more interested in peace than the Palestinians. All you have to do is look at the history of negotiations. All you have to do is look at the fact that you're being bombed on your southern border, which says, are they really interested in peace? Now, the source of that is complicated in terms of not only who's actually firing the rockets, but who's behind getting the rockets to them, who's instigating. I can't get into all of those complexities, but it is clear to me, not just from this trip, that Israel is more interested in peace than those that are trying to deny the peace process. What would I do? I would do what your government is doing. I had a very informative discussion with the Deputy Prime Minister. And in short, you must defend yourself and be prepared to defend yourself, even as things escalate. I totally agree with that. And as President of the United States, I would support Israel and their right to defend themselves. Israel has given up enough in terms of trying to facilitate peace. All the way back to when Jimmy Carter was president. Your leaders, I believe, have shown more interest in achieving peace than the ones you've been trying to achieve. Now, I'm not talking about countries like Jordan where you do have an agreement. I'm not talking about the countries where you have an agreement. I'm talking about the Palestinians. And so, no, I don't believe in moving the 67 borders. I don't believe in dividing Jerusalem. I don't believe that that should even be a consideration in terms of something that should be on the table to negotiate. And so the bottom line is Israel will have to continue to protect itself, and it has to continue to be in a position to protect itself even more. First, I don't agree with the unilateral declaration of statehood with the UN and what they are about to do in September. Secondly, I certainly hope that the United States maintains its position to vote no on that issue. Here again, I don't agree with the process that it's basically been a political process to get to the point where the Palestinians have impacted and influenced enough nations to vote yes that they're about to reach this point. Secondly, I don't know how statehood is going to be defined with this upcoming vote. If it assumes Israel giving up anything that it has clearly stated in the past that it did not want to give up, I am against that. What could be done? What could have been done differently? The United States has tremendous influence with a lot of countries around the world. Some of them are our friends, some of them are our enemies, and some of them would like to be a little bit closer friends to the United States of America because of all of the many strategic resources, not just money, but other things that we could bring to bear. Since the United States is against this unilateral move, this unilateral vote, I believe that the United States could have used its influence to influence other countries to not allow this to happen. Because I happen to believe that if that vote passes, if it passes, whatever the definition of it is, and I don't know all of the details of what it's actually going to look like, I believe that unfortunately it's going to embolden Israel's enemies rather than define what their constraints are relative to the state of Israel. So I would have used the influence to try to achieve the result that I believe the United States should have achieved. Many U.S. Representatives and U.S. officials have expressed their views that Jonathan Pollock should be released for humanitarian reasons. As president, I would certainly review that, and I certainly, based upon what I know about the situation now, in an unofficial capacity would lean toward that position, but not having done a formal review, cannot give a definitive answer. But yes, I am familiar with that.
You mentioned that you were visiting the Golan Heights, seeing how beautiful it was. Did this also help your perception about the strategic value, how small the country is?
Yes, it did help. You hear and you read about the relative closeness of the other countries in an area like that, but then when you actually see it, then it drives home the point that it is strategically critical that that remain, part of Israel, because you visually see the threats if you were to give up, part of that for the sake of peace. So yes, it does drive it home.